Widows, Bosgulls, how are we all doing? Now, I've just finished a live stream, and we've already covered this on the live, but a lot of people are interested in this and my thoughts on it. And against my better judgment, we're going to take a look back at Cody and Satori. So, for those of you that don't remember or weren't around on the channel at the time, Sam and Colby did a video at the Conjuring House. It was called Hell Week in 2023. It was for Halloween. And we were introduced to Cody and Satori, where they have their own method where they touch each other or hold on to each other. And through that, they can conjure communication with ghosts through tapping or rapping. And I immediately dismissed it as, that's just the hammer toe. I had no idea that video would blow up the way it did. And I had no idea that there were so many other channels covering it. And a lot of channels blew up from it. And rightly so, because it was interesting. You know, was this finally a proven method to speak to the paranormal? Could we speak to ghosts? Was this real? And the more we dived into it, all of the people that were looking at it, the more we were like, no, this isn't real. Now, this video is not a hit piece. This video is not going to be me shouting, ranting, raving, or anything like that. I'm doing this as respectfully as I can, in the hopes that we get what we want from Cody and Satori, and maybe other paranormal investigation channels. So, this channel, Tyler Reynolds TV, 8K subscribers, has just put out a video, Cody and Satori, The Truth, Full Tapping Method, Barefoot. Now, this is something that we all asked for. We all asked for them to wear shorts, you know, no baggy clothes, shoes and socks off. Satori said she didn't want to do it barefoot because of people foot fetishing it, and I'm like, that's weak. So this guy has done a video in there. To me, this is just in defense. Now, my issues with this are, before we play any of this, my first biggest issue is we questioned this 14 months ago. Why is it taken until now for somebody to come out and say, actually, it's real? Look, they're taking their shoes and socks off. From a skeptic's point of view, the biggest issue is they've had 14 months to perfect the faking. It's not me saying they're fake. I believe it's fake. But they've had 14 months to perfect this. Now then, for a skeptic, for a debunker, the only way that this could be credible and a way that looks like a legitimate test to me would be a scientific investigation. And what I mean by that is a clean area, like a laboratory. Not a lavatory, laboratory. Laboratory. Whatever. I'm not even editing that out. Clean room. A clean room that has been checked. The walls checked, the floors checked, the ceilings checked, and then anyone inside the room is patted down and checked. Now, on the live stream, people were saying yourself and Kenny Biddle would be ideal for this. And my argument there is, I'm certainly not ideal for it because I am already biased in my thought process in that it is fake. It is nothing but the hammer toe, and they've learned different ways to get away with it now. Just my opinion. Kenny Biddle. Now, if Kenny Biddle was to call it fake, there would be people jumping up and down, screaming, shouting, saying, you can't call that fake because you're a non-believer, you're a skeptic. Fair enough. If Kenny Biddle was to say it's real, if I was there and said, actually, they've proved us all wrong, it's real, people would then be jumping up and down and screaming and saying, you're only saying that because you're friends with Jason Hawes. Now, I trust Kenny Biddle implicitly. I trust Kenny Biddle 100%, and he would not, for any reason, lie to you, me, or anyone else. Simple fact. I know that I wouldn't, despite my friendship with Jason. And listen, Jason Hawes has never asked me not to make a video on Cody and Satori, and he's never asked me not to make a video on Ghost Adventures, Ghost Hunters, himself. He's never, ever said, oh, come on, mate, don't do... He's never done it. Total transparency. So, in my mind, it would have to be a clean laboratory, whatever you want to call it. A clean area that has had the walls, the ceilings, the floors checked. No windows, nothing. Everyone patted down, including 3 independent adjudicators. There should be cameras all the way around the room, on the ceiling pointing down, on the floor looking across, and somebody panning around. Those 3 people need to be independent. They need to have no thoughts on the paranormal, no thoughts on Cody and Satori, no thoughts on skepticism. Purely logic and scientific approach to work out what the hell is happening. That is the only way I could accept it. That is the only way I assume the majority of people would accept it, is those tests. And even then people will say, how do we know the scientists are not paid off, etc. But that's the best I think we could hope for. So this guy's brought out this video, the truth of the toe tapping method. Now, I've already got problems with this video. Number 1, he is friends with Cody and Satori. Number 2, this is not a sterile, clean environment. This is a bedroom, an upstairs bedroom. So how do we know there's nobody below them hitting up onto the floor? How do we know there's nobody in the rooms either side or up in the attic or even people in all of those places? They haven't proved it. They've got 3 or 4 cameras in this room and then they need to go into a basement, but there's not cameras all throughout the house. And even if there were cameras all throughout the house, how do we know that all of those cameras are all showing us in time what's really going on in that house and there's not time discrepancies? I'm not picking holes, I'm not being a dick. This is why this, to me, is not proof at all. But on the other side of it, Satori, later removes this, was it a cardigan or something? They're both wearing shorts. Now, you see they're wearing socks.
They're crazy.
We are crazy.
Now,
he's got nothing. He's got absolutely nothing.
Now, he's patting down and saying he's got nothing. It doesn't look like he's got anything, but we only got his word to take for it.
She's got nothing.
Yeah, no, just also for video reference, I do have my necklace taped back here because I don't like when it touches the top of my tank top. So just so everybody can see up close.
My pockets? You want to pat my pockets?
Pockets? I mean...
Yeah, are you going to pat us down? That's fine.
Nothing.
Put your hands down.
So they're patting down, fine. But what is all this crap? I move my head. What is all this crap up here? We don't know what all this stuff is behind that camera tripod. We can't see under the beds. There's 2 beds there that we can't see under. They're focusing solely on the 2 people and not the surroundings. But I get why they're doing that. The question is of the 2 people, not the surroundings. For a lot of people.
Absolutely nothing.
If anybody's here, can you just... Do you see me? Can you walk her up to me? Walk around me? I'm waving. Can you keep walking or hitting whatever you're doing? Okay.
So there was some knocking. Now, obviously, Cody has his shoes and socks on. Satori has her shoes on. Does that mean that he could be hammer-toeing? Yes, but later on in the video, they take their shoes and socks off.
Okay, I just have...
I mean, I think he's taking his socks off because it still looks like he's wearing white socks. I hate feet. I can't believe I'm watching this. Nothing against them. I just hate feet.
Stinky shoes, you're more than welcome to examine them.
Well, the shoes are out of play. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
you can
it's like...
You can check them, whatever you want to do.
So they're out of...
There was another issue. There is a lady that is briefly in frame a couple of times. We can't see what she is doing. We can't see what the cameraman is doing for the most part during this entire thing. So already, there's more things that we can see. This isn't a proper investigation. This is not clean.
Play.
Okay. And you can watch our toes if you want.
Are you still here? Oh.
No, you're good, you're good.
Are you still here? Whoever's the loudest? Can you come up to me? Are you still here?
Okay.
Okay. Awesome.
Now, they've got 2 cameras. Great, but they're both looking at the same angle. Those knocks, I'm sorry, when those shoes and socks come off, they sound a little different to me. The knocks, anyway, sound different to everywhere else they have gone.
Awesome. Can you walk around a little bit just to let me know?
In looking at the other side of it, maybe it's because the house is made of different material and that's why it sounds so different. I don't believe that for a second, but we've got to look at both things to be fair.
Oh, you are still here. Okay.
Hi.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I ask, are you older than 20? Older than 30? Okay, older than 40? Older than 50?
Oh.
See, we've got this person over here. We don't know. We don't know. What are they doing? Can't say they're faking anything, but we sure as shit can't say they're not. We don't know what the cameraman is doing other than filming.
I thought this was a kid.
They said one person over the year of 18. Older than 50s?
Try getting a name.
Can I get your first name? So what we're going to do...
You want us on the chairs now, Tyler, or you want us to keep going?
Okay, so another thing we asked about is taking their feet off the floor. And they've done this previously, but I think they took the shoes and socks off last time. So we've seen this before, and the method is exactly the same noises. But again, this was only done the last time, months after the original calls of, we think this is fake.
Understanding with people, so I think that that's important.
Yeah, I mean, the last time we did a video barefoot with Riza did a couple experiments with us, and I had just had a hip replacement like a month before that. And of course, I was moving around a lot. I always kind of sweat a lot too.
But you have neuropathy, so,
yeah,
medically it's
last
hard.
session, I tried not to move at all. This session, I'm trying not to move at all either.
I
Besides
sway
breathing.
too, like I said. Like, I feel like you can't really stand.
I agree. To be on your knees holding arms with somebody else, they are going to have little bits of movement. It cannot be helped. And there's something else they do with this portion as proof that it's real. So we've now got a camera on Satori's feet. We've got a camera on Cody's feet. And this guy's put his camera down. And what he does now is...
Are you still here? You still here?
Yeah.
Yeah?
That's funny because when I came over here, it was knocking on this side and then moved to that side.
So it's moving.
It adjusted.
See, that's one of the hard things to show on camera because...
Yeah, you can't show guys the location of these knocks, but, I mean, you can tell that they're not moving.
But you are a friend of theirs, and those sounds could be overlaid. Just trying to be fair. Those sounds could be people in different rooms knocking. This could all be a setup to make them look real because you're a friend of theirs. This isn't scientific proof. This isn't the proof that we asked for. And I know Cody and Satori are going to say they've moved the goalposts again, but this isn't what we asked for. This is not what I asked for. I don't expect them to bow to my every whim, but this is not proof for me. This guy does some interesting things, like...
But I can tell you right now, from the sound of the knock, it was back here, and it moved to kind of close to you, Casey.
Can you keep going, Bethania?
Yeah.
We're trying not to move.
Don't be afraid to come close to Tyler. He's not going to hurt you. He's just doing something strange.
Casey, you're good to show them.
Keep going. Can you do it? How many times can you do it? Can you count to 10? 1.
We'll count and you do the noise.
Okay, ready?
I think
1.
talking.
I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but he holds his calves so he can feel for muscle movement and ligaments, etc. He does the same with Satori. But again, this is a friend of theirs. Without being rude, how can I trust this person? He is not an independent adjudicator.
1, 2. A little harder. Try to come as...
He moves on to the hips to make sure it's not a hip that they pop in or whatever. At this point... all of this testing, to me, is redundant because it has been 14 months. 14 months since the video dropped. It's 14 months to work out a way to trick us all. Potentially.
As close as you can to the light that you see. Right here, right in front of us. Not these lights. These light, right here.
Bum, 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 bum.
It was
Do
two
you need
knocks.
2? Ready? Bum, 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 bum. Good job. I'm
sorry, I cannot believe this for a second. I really can't. If this was legitimate, this would change the world. And instead of doing it in a way that would leave no room for question, they have done this, which spurs videos like this, and it just throws more questions into the air. I'm sorry, it is just not good enough. He can hold on to whatever he wants on them. This is not a sterile environment. This is not a scientific test. This is almost pandering to a lot of the things that we have asked. It is catering to a minority of people that have questioned this, not the majority, and certainly not the debunkers.
Good job. Do you feel anything?
I felt nothing.
And why is that K2 not going off and the knocks are going on if it's ghost? Because K2s don't speak to ghosts. So the next experiment, I'm not going to play it. Buckets of water. So they stand on cardboard because obviously it's a filthy, dirty floor. And then they each stand in their buckets. There is a camera on each bucket. So if they were hammer towing, the water would ripple and it would drown out the sound. All of these stone walls. So chances of somebody knocking. Well, apart from the two people that are with them filming, whoever could be upstairs, whatever this is, this window, people could be anywhere in these areas knocking. Again, this proves nothing to me. Again, this seems like they have looked at some of the complaints, picked the bits that they can indeed get away with and say, listen, you've asked for this, 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 and we have done this, 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 this. But then they're going to say we've moved the goalposts. Well, this hasn't moved the goalposts for me. Because from day one, I was like independent adjudicator. I don't think I said independent adjudicator. But, you know, somebody like Kenny Biddle. But let's take it a step further. 3 different scientists that know nothing about them go into a room, don't tell them what's going to happen, and then see what the scientists say. The only way I could accept that this is real at this point, because they have had too long to work on this.
Make as many loud sounds as you can to let us know you do not wish to talk to us. You have to do it a lot, though, so I know.
Can you do it more than that?
Can you do it? I will know that you are not interested in playing games with us.
He doesn't want to... What?
Because I remember that they're not answering.
Now, they do struggle in the basement in the water. Now, is that because they stood in the water? Well, no, they've already proved that on this occasion, this far down the line, they're not hammer towing. But what if there is somebody else back here, upstairs, outside on the window, and they can't quite hear them properly? And because of these big, thick stone walls, the noise isn't carrying as well. And if you watch it for yourself, you'll see there's a bit where they're getting confused about... They get to like... element of P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, U, S, T. And that is off to me. Like, we can't hear a knock, but they stop because they've clearly missed something. And to me, that is a mistake from Cody and Satori, not from the ghosts of wherever the fuck they are.
You guys saw that everything sounded the same. And this time we're on dirt as they're wiping off their feet.
But it didn't sound the same. The knocks in the basement were far quieter than anywhere else. But more importantly than that, the knocks in the basement was like, oh, they don't want to talk to us. They don't want to talk to us. I think whoever was actually knocking couldn't hear them. Just my opinion. So I have done this as respectfully as I can, being somebody that cannot and does not believe in this method. For me, everything I've described that I would need to see is the only way I could buy into this method at all. And even then, I'd have questions like, how have they done 3 scientists over? Skeptical person. Too big a passage of time. Too much of this pandering to the smaller audience that don't really know about debunking. You know, the general people that are questioning, this seems to be pandering to. This isn't... No debunker that I watch or that I interact with is going to buy into a single solitary second of this, I'm sorry. So as I said, we did discuss this on a live stream, and I thought it was a good idea to put a video out because live streams tend not to get many views after they've ended. I'm not impressed. They've gone to whatever house with their friend, wood floors, wood frame walls, and plasterboard and all sorts. We can't see under the beds. It's not a clean, sterile environment. There's nobody independent there. These are friends or workmates or whatever you want to call them. And the channel owner, Tyler Reynolds TV, side-eye guy, has made videos on him and doesn't believe him to be trustworthy as a paranormal investigator. It's not my words. I've not looked at Tyler Reynolds. At some point in the future, I'll look at Tyler Reynolds to see what I think of him, but this has done nothing to prove this to me at all. This has not allayed any of my concerns, my questions at all. In fact, I think it stirred up more because the sound was so different. When they were upstairs, the sound was different to the basement, even though they say it's not. It is. I got pretty decent buds there. They're fantastic for editing. That's what they're designed for. This just is not it. It is not enough for me. Kenny Biddle works for the Skeptical Inquirer, and there is a lot of money on the line for somebody that can prove that the paranormal exists. By all means, take up Kenny Biddle on that offer. I have been as fair as I can in this video to you guys. Invite me out. I will happily, in a different room, if we can get like a one-way mirror or something, put me in a different room just so I can see. But I would like to interview the 3 independent adjudicators, interview Kenny Biddle, get involved in you guys getting patted down, and then I would want to be involved in checking the walls, the ceilings, the floors, the basement, everything, just to make sure for myself that there is no way that this is being tricked. And if that could happen, you could change the world. I don't think you can, and I think the reason you've used a mate in this house that's not a sterile environment is to keep this fakery going. And to me, I'm very sorry, this is fakery. I have a lot of respect for Jason Hawes. I've got a great friendship with Jason Hawes, but friendships will never ever dictate what I say and do in my videos. The reason I have been more calm and constructive with this is I want to see this done properly. If we can see that done properly, and if I could get my mind blown, it would change my outlook on the paranormal. It would change the scientific approach to the paranormal. I just don't think they can do it. Do please let me know your thoughts on the comment section down below. Let me know what your thoughts are. What would you like to see them do? What rigorous testing would you want put in place? What did you think of this? Did you buy into this or not? Much love to you all. Thank you all very much for watching. Beardo out.